Hawk helicopters packed with armed FBI agents swoop over the Lincoln Forest Mountains of New Mexico. Their target, not a terrorist training camp, not a drug cartel. This special SWAT team is about to raid an astronomical observatory. The Sunspot Solar Observatory, used by NASA to understand and keep watch on the sun.
There's Black Hawk helicopters and FBI agents swarming all over the place.
Government agents shut down the observatory and evacuate the 250-acre site. Local police are left in the dark. And the employees are silenced.
Everyone had to sign some kind of secrecy agreement that whatever they'd seen could not be disclosed. They treated it as if a national security breach had occurred.
Is there something we should know?
The FBI says their raid and 11-day lockdown is in response to an observatory employee accused of misusing the internet. Many find this explanation difficult to believe.
This is an observatory. This one looks at the sun. Maybe they found something that we should be concerned about.
But what can the astronomers have seen that they shouldn't have? There's been some wild theories.
This daytime sky is our blind spot. If you really want to sneak up on a planet, come from the direction of the sun.
Military strategists throughout history have used glaring sunlight for surprise attacks.
When a fighter pilot or a bomber is doing a run, they come from the sunward direction so they can't be seen.
Could astronomers have detected something headed towards Earth using the sun as cover?
If people found out about that, it could cause a panic. So, maybe the observatory needs to be shut down to keep it secret.
But no other observatory or monitoring station has reported anything suspicious heading for Earth. Some researchers ask if the shutdown is linked to the Solar Observatory's specific and most important work: the charting of solar activity. It is well known that certain forms of solar activity can affect life on Earth, such as a burst of solar radiation known as a coronal mass ejection.
It's very difficult to predict the occurrence of a coronal mass ejection.
For NASA, this is a serious problem.
Coronal mass ejections explode with the power of 20 million nuclear bombs. They create a huge electromagnetic impulse that can knock out power grids across whole continents.
The amount of damage we would face both on the ground and in space from a solar event could be catastrophic. So are we about to be hit by a solar tsunami of radiation particles?
But coronal mass ejections take just 3 days to reach Earth and would have hit by now. Far, far more worrying than this, some fear the solar astronomers may have observed a subtle change in the size of the sun, the beginning of the end of our entire solar system.
The sun powers life here on Earth, so it's the life giver. But the sun, it has a deadly ace up its sleeve.
The sun at the moment is turning hydrogen into helium. It works like a giant H-bomb, okay? But eventually it's going to run out of the hydrogen.
When the sun exhausts all the hydrogen fuel, it won't just turn off like a light bulb. Without nuclear fusion pushing gases out, the core begins to collapse under its own gravity.
Because it's getting smaller, it's getting hotter. Once the temperature in the core of the sun reaches 100 million degrees, the helium will ignite. And when that happens, the sun will expand drastically and suddenly.
It will expand out to what's called a red giant. Earth will be literally fried.
might solar astronomers have detected the first signs of change in the sun? The beginning of the end of the solar system?
It's no wonder ancient people worship the sun as a god, because not only does it provide us light, but in the end, the sun could ultimately spell doom for all of Earth.
Most astronomers believe our sun is currently stable, and they hope it will stay so for billions more years. But astronomers know that sun-like stars elsewhere in the universe act erratically. And there's no guarantee that ours could not suddenly surprise us. The FBI could have shut down the observatory to contain the alarming information and halt the spread of mass panic around the world.
The sun is one of the most dangerous things in the solar system, and we still don't know everything about it.
11 days after it was closed, the Sunspot Observatory is reopened and watching the sun again. Despite the official government explanation that a rogue employee's actions triggered the shutdown, some investigators remain unconvinced.
There appears to be a set of occurrences going on, of which this seizure of this observatory is kind of the tip of the iceberg.
Or perhaps I have. Time will tell. Be assured that as long as I am on this earth, I will be thinking about lots of things, but nothing more important to me than when we get to go to our heavenly home. I'm going to keep swinging the bat until one day we all take a flight to our heavenly home. Now let's answer the question, what is a Shemitah and why does it matter? Some of you already know what a Shemitah is, while others may not. So in order to get everyone watching this up to speed, let's unravel the mystery of the Shemitah. God has his own calendar, a calendar he revealed to the Hebrews through Moses on Mount Sinai, a calendar that is 100% reliable and completely trustworthy, as it contains all the appointed times the Lord wanted his people to celebrate, as they were all prophetic and all centered upon the one person and event that the children of Israel have failed as a nation to recognize, but will soon acknowledge. Who is that one person? It is Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua the Messiah. So the Shemitah is important because it is directly connected to both the tribulation and the second coming of the Messiah. What is a Shemitah? The Shemitah refers to every 7th year on God's calendar. It is always the last year in a 7-year cycle as revealed to Moses by God on Mount Sinai. God has a weekly year of rest on the 7th day, and God also has a yearly year of rest every 7th year. We call this cycle a week of years or a 7-year sabbatical cycle. What God expected the children of Israel to do on the Shemitah and its purpose is recorded in Leviticus 25, 1-6, where it says, And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth on its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is the year of rest unto the Lord. The promise that God made regarding the Shemitah year was that he would provide a bounty in the years that preceded the Shemitah year so that the year could be observed without worrying about financial matters, food, or shelter. God would reward the observance of the Super Shemitah Sabbath with bounty and blessing. But if not observed, it would become a year of shaking, collapse, and financial calamity, and in a word, a curse instead of a blessing. Shemitah is a picture, a shadow type of heaven's rest when it's observed. And when not observed, it's both a warning and a picture shadow type of hell. Do we know when the Shemitah begins and ends? On God's calendar, the Shemitah starts with the 1st of Tishri and ends on the 29th day of Elul, exactly 7 years later. Do we know when the Shemitah is on our Roman calendar? The answer is yes. The month of Elul on the Hebrew calendar is followed by the month of Tishri 1. Tishri 1 is not only Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of a new year on the Hebrew calendar, it is also the day after Elul 29, the date that marks the end of the Shemitah every 7 years, as the very next day marks the beginning of a new 7-year cycle. When does this occur on our calendar? The answer is both Elul 29 and Tishri 1 always begin and end in the fall months of September and October on our Roman calendar. A year in the Hebrew calendar can be 353, 354, 355, 383, 384, or 385 days long. Regular common years have 12 lunar months with a total of 354 days. Leap years have 13 lunar months and can be as long as 385 days. The exact dates for both Elul and Tishri changes every year, but it always ends up on our Roman calendar in September or October. Do we know when the next Shemitah year is? The answer is we're living in one. The answer is 2022. The year this video is produced is a Shemitah year that begins on Tishri 1, that is in September on our calendar in 2021, and will end on Elul 29, which is September 25th, 2022. The next 7-year cycle begins September 26th, 2022, and ends on the Hebrew month of Elul in the fall of 2029 on the Roman calendar. The earth-shaking events that are connected with the Shemitah almost always happen at the end of the Shemitah cycle, culminating on Elul 29 and often continuing through the first month of the following Hebrew year that begins on Tishri 1, the day after Elul 29. If you consult other sources regarding our current Shemitah year of 2022, you may see that they have reported the Shemitah year as beginning in the fall of 2021, and that is correct, as they are reporting the beginning of the Shemitah year, while we are reporting the end of the Shemitah year that takes place in the fall of 2022. When did the 7-year Shemitah cycle begin? The answer is that I believe God has a 7,000-year plan for mankind that began the year sin entered the world and ends 7,000 years later when God creates a new heaven and a new earth. I believe this unbroken 7-year cycle was introduced by God to Moses on Mount Sinai, who revealed it to the children of Israel as the continuation of a Creation Week 7-year super sabbatical Shemitah cycle that was to begin on Tishri 1, the very day that the children of Israel entered the Promised Land. I believe the 7-year Shemitah cycle is God's calendar that governs all human history and will not come to an end until 7,000 years or 1,000 sabbatical 7